We got hot deer mommy on the horizon, and of course, I'm here to talk about if you should summon on Genshin Impact. That's right, Lauma is about to grace us with her presence, and God, is she spectacular. One of the most beautiful characters I've seen come out of Genshin Impact. And yeah, that might be a little bit weird to talk about in a should you summon, but hey, you know what? I love me some girls in gacha games. A lot of people hate me for it, but uh, in all seriousness, Lauma looks like she's going to be fantastic for just Genshin Impact in general. She looks like she's going to be able to do a lot of really, really crazy stuff. But I'm here to talk about the banners themselves and to see if you should summon on these banners. Now, of course, before we get into that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Don't forget to hype up this video, please. Would love to get a little bit of hype behind these videos. And of course, to check out Gamer Subs, use code Tyster for 10% off. Today, I'm having a little bit of the Bowberry in the Bow Cup. Is that a little bit, coincidence? I think not. But yes, we're going to be talking about these banners, and we're going to be going off of some things. So, number one, this is going to be of my experience playtesting these characters. I've been playing Genshin Impact since day one. Not saying that my opinion is worth a lot, or I guess it's weight in silver or gold or however you want to say that phrase. But I will say that I do have a little bit of experience with these characters, while I will also say if I was good with the character or bad with the character, because there are some things that I did have some bad takes on back in the day. Number two, obviously, is to remember that this is very opinionated. I'm also very pro-consumer when it comes to things. So I want people to understand that if I am saying that something is worth, I think it's more so because of the banner as a whole, not just one singular character. Because I like to look at these as, is it the best bang for your buck? And if you don't like being pro-consumer, I'm sorry, then I guess my opinion's just not for you. Because for me, I'd rather get my money's worth out of the whole banner than to not get my money's worth. But hey, that's just my take on it. But let's go ahead and dive right into this video. Now, of course, we're going to start off with the character that's been here the longest as a 4-star, and that is Barbara. Now, of course, I also have the summer Barbara outfit, so it is what it is. I did have this Barbara built, but I took off the artifacts to kind of build someone else, because at the time I was trying to build like the best builds that I can with certain characters. But Barbara is not a bad character overall, right? As you can see, I didn't really invest too much. This was near the beginning of Genshin Impact when I had her fully built. But yeah, so obviously her let the show begin is her skill. And when you activate the skill, it kind of heals periodically and also applies wet status, aka hydro application. She's very good at being able to put the hydro element onto characters, which is great for characters like Lauma coming out, and also Nahida and even Kave that's on the same banner, right? Getting those blooms is exactly what you want for this character. So having her be able to heal you and apply hydro is a very big plus. And then, of course, with the burst that she has, Shining Miracle, you could actually use it to get, a free revive of your own party. I believe it's only for one character, but I could be wrong on that. I thought it was. It says heals your own party members and here nearby teammates for a large amount of HP that scales up. Is it Glorious Season that does it, or Encore? When an actor nope, I can't remember. Maybe I'm just crazy. I know that no, it's off her C6. I remember this now. I'm so dumb. So it's her C6. Once you get the C6 of her, when Barbara's in your party but not on the field and one of your own party members falls, automatically revives the fallen character, fully restoring the revived character's HP to 100%. And this effect can only occur every 15 minutes, which is not bad. I think that the free revive is pretty cool at a C6, though. That's the only downside to that. But otherwise, like, Barbara is just your dedicated healer, I guess the best way to put it. I used her a little bit in the beginning, but honestly, as time went on, there was just, like, shielding was a lot better for me. I thought that, characters like Diona, Zhongli back in the day just outpaced what I needed from, a character that was going to support me in the back. And Barbara just wasn't doing that. However, now that we have such a focus on elemental reactions, Barbara might be a better of a pick than she used to be. However, you do get her for free, which is great. So you only need to summon for 6 copies of her after you get her for free. So there's that. But that's all I got really say about Barbara. Like, she's been here forever. If you don't have a copy of her already, you're either very new or just very unlucky, or yeah, either one of those two are the best ways to put it. Let us talk about Kuki Shinobu. I used to give a lot of shit to Kuki Shinobu because while I thought that she was incredibly like, you know, gorgeous of a character, I love the whole shinobi aspect of her. I used to think that Kuki Shinobu was a terrible character. I did. I used to think that Kuki Shinobu was just for healing, but then I got kind of slandered in my initial video of her. Well, not slandered. It was kind of just people were saying like you have no idea how to build Cookie Shinobu, and to which that was true. I didn't know how to build her, but honestly, like her electro application is fantastic, and she's also very good at keeping you healed up while also sacrificing her own HP. So basically, that's what her skill does: is you create this grass field. You can go ahead and put on electro application every. I think it's like every what. Oh, 1.5 seconds. So 1.5 seconds, she does this little pulsing with her electro whip and applies electro like to or electric status or whatever you want to call it to the character, but also heals your characters with every single pulse. And that's really good too. And then of course she has her burst, which isn't that big a deal. It's really just an electro damage AoE, but in all honesty, like your biggest thing is using this skill to apply that electro to enemies and also get that healing going. So I think that she's honestly a better character to have in that back row than Barbara. However, in the case of when we're talking about Bloom characters such as Lauma, it's a little bit different, right? So honestly, it's tough for me to say that it's worth to go for Kuki Shinobu over Barbara in that case, but I don't know. I need to look at the logistics of having Kuki Shinobu in a Bloom team when Lauma's there because we have the Lunar Bloom status. And that's what we got to remember is that there's a difference between Bloom and Lunar Bloom. So very excited to see how she goes. But overall, if you want a good character on your account, Kuki Shinobu is just that great 4-star that everybody goes back to. And she's always worth it, in my opinion. So if you don't have her C6, get her C6. I remember Kaveh being put in the dungeon for a while because Kaveh was doing some pretty crazy stuff, deleting people's stuff. Now, of course, there's always these things of like, oh, it wasn't a Kaveh thing only. It wasn't this, it wasn't that. But Kaveh was kind of the center of attention at the time when he came out because of the fact that there was this whole thing going around where if you used his skill, it deleted stuff out of people's worlds and you couldn't get it back, right? Now, what's crazy about Kaveh, let me go ahead to his talents, is that he is a great Bloom team character, right? On his skill, right? He has a mapping ability for offensive purposes, initiating a radical scan that deals AoE dendro damage. It will also scan all dendro cores in its AoE and cause them to immediately burst. This includes Bloom. I do want to check, like I'm almost certain that this is the case, but I want to check the Lunar Bloom stuff because I hear that Lunar Bloom will count for this as well. Shout out to that guy who's trying to get into my world. I'm almost certain that Lunar Bloom counts for this skill, but I would love to like do a little bit of testing with that as well. If it doesn't, that'd be pretty crazy. And then of course he's got his burst, which isn't really like amazingly amazing outside of the fact that it does increase Kaveh's normal charge plunging attack, anything really that he has, and also converts it to dendro. And then all dendro cores created by your own party members through Bloom reactions will deal additional damage when they burst, which is still good because you could activate this burst and I think go into Lauma. I think Lauma is going to be doing a lot of damage in general in regards to what she's able to do. So there's a pretty good chance that he's going to be great as a support character for Lauma, but I don't know. I haven't looked into the logistics of her teams yet. So I would definitely say for the rarity of him and for the fact that he is Bloom, probably a good choice for you to go for him, to be honest, as a 4-star. So I will say the 4-stars have been a very good set of options for these banners, right? So there's that. Yes, the professor of Duke themselves. Like, yes, she said you're gonna take a Duke, right? But yeah, she's a great character. Nahida is still probably one of the best 5-stars in my opinion, in regards to just what she's able to do. Now, of course, she's a Dendro Catalyst user, the Dendro Archon herself, or the reincarnation of Ruka Devada in that sense. Dealing AoE Dendro damage, marking up to 8 characters hit with their skill, which is pretty cool. And she does this whole little thing where she does this. When you hold down her skill, which is really adorable. Her attacks are just absolutely adorable, right? And yeah, I think that she's just great in regards to that. She's able to mark those characters, deal that dendro damage as she's able to do, and apply dendro as well. And then of course we got the illusionary heart, which is really good. depending on what you have for the elemental types present in the party, which means that you do kind of want to have a diverse party for the most part. But with her needing Bloom Team, you're probably only going to get the Shrine of Maya's duration is increased alongside her the other abilities, where if there's 2 party members of the aforementioned elemental types present when the field is deployed, the aforementioned effects will be increased further. So you kind of want to, you'll probably want to run a Kuki Shinobu alongside her, and a Hydro character as well. I've seen a lot of people do all 4 to get everything going, but most of the time, like, I'm mainly running her to help out with Bloom teams in general. So, but yeah, the Shrine of Maya is still a very, very good ability overall. And plus, for me, I've got her at C2, which the C2 is probably her best constellation. Excuse me, sorry, I got hiccups. Opponents that are marked by seeds of Skanda or Skanda applied by Nahida herself will be affected by the following effects: Burning Bloom, Hyper Bloom, and Bergevin reaction damage they receive can score crit hits. Crit rate and crit damage are fixed to 20% and 100% respectively. And within 8 seconds of being affected by Quicken, Aggravate, Spread, defense is decreased by 30%. She's absolutely insane with this stuff. She's definitely one of those characters that I say is a must summon just because of how good she is overall. So definitely would advise everybody to go for her. And then, of course, we're going to go on to Loot Bar right here to talk about what Lauma is able to do. Now, the big things about Lauma, right, is that first off, we know that with the Lunar Bloom action, after Lauma uses her skill, Bloom, Hyper Bloom, and Bergerin reactions triggered by party members can score crit hits. So it's kind of the same thing as what we were just talking about with Nahida. Her big takeaway with her skill, right, the Dauntless Rest of Karsiko, or Sicko, however that's called, she could actually decrease, or yeah, she's basically decreasing the Dendro and Hydro resistance of the enemy for 10 seconds, which is really good, especially when you're rocking a Hyper Bloom team. Now, of course, when we talk about Lauma, we got to talk about her burst. Additionally, if Lauma uses her elemental burst while she has Moonsong, or she gains Moonsong within 15 seconds of using her elemental burst, she will consume all Moonsong stacks and gain 6 stacks of Pale Hymn for every Moonsong stack consumed. The effect can be triggered. Once for each elemental burst used, including the 15 seconds following it. And then when you go into Pale Hymn itself, when nearby party members deal Bloom, Hyper Bloom, Bergerin, or Lunar Bloom damage, 1 stack of Pale Hymn will be consumed, and the damage dealt will be increased based on Lauma's elemental mastery. And if the damage hits multiple opponents at once, then multiple stacks of Pale Hymn will be consumed, depending on how many opponents are hit. So she's going to be mainly just doing as much possible damage as she can. And I've seen a lot of people, like, with the damage test that they've had, and she's able to do insane amounts of damage with the teams that she has. So am I going to say that Lauma is a must summon? I'm going to say that if you're looking to go into this with a brand new team, especially since Lauma also is going to be able to track all of the specialties within the actual area, I think that Lauma might be a must summon. However, I'm also looking forward to Flins, because Flins is going to be that new Electro DPS, and I think that he's going to be absolutely insane as well. It's tough, man. They cooked with both these characters, and it's the first time in a long, long time that I'm going to be summoning for a character. I will not rest until I pull Lauma. So make sure to stay on the channel for I'm going to be uploading that Saturday. So but yeah, am I going to say that Lauma's a must summon? If you're looking to get a character right out the gate in Nod Cry, yes, I would say that Lauma is a must summon, especially for those Bloom teams. So, but if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments down below. Would love to hear y'all's opinions. Plus, Dear Mommy's hot. Like, are you really going to say no to a hot lady? I'm just saying. So anyways, y'all, that's gonna be it. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hype up the video. Hit that notification bell, and of course, don't forget to check out GamerSubs. Use code Tyson for 10% off. But that's gonna be it. Love you guys to death, and as always, we will catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.